On the morning of June 30th, 1908, in the remote Siberian wilderness, the sky above the Tunguska River suddenly turned into a fireball, and in a matter of seconds, the quiet forest witnessed one of the most powerful explosions in human history. Yet no bomb had been dropped and no war had begun. Hunters from the Evenki people later described seeing a blazing object streak across the sky, brighter than the sun, followed by a column of blue light and a shockwave so violent it knocked people off their feet dozens of miles away, as if the air itself had become a hammer. One herdsman recalled being thrown into the air and feeling heat scorch his clothes, thinking the world was ending, while reindeer stampeded in terror through the forest. Then came the sound, a series of thunderous booms rolling across the land, shattering windows hundreds of miles away and sending seismic vibrations through the ground that instruments across Europe quietly recorded without knowing the cause. In the trading posts and small settlements scattered across Siberia, people looked to the horizon and saw a strange glowing sky for nights afterward, bright enough to read newspapers outdoors at midnight, as fine dust from the blast spread high in the atmosphere and reflected sunlight far beyond Russia. Yet at the time, the world paid little attention because this happened in one of the most isolated regions on Earth, far from capitals and headlines, and Russia itself was dealing with political unrest and limited scientific reach into the wilderness. It was not until years later that scientists began to investigate rumors of a flattened forest where trees lay in a radial pattern, all pointing away from a mysterious center. When the first major expedition finally reached the site in the 1920s, led by researcher Leonid Kulik, they expected to find a giant crater from a meteorite impact, but instead they found something puzzling. Over 80 million trees knocked down across more than 2,000 square kilometers, yet no obvious crater, no large fragments of space rock, just scorched earth and a strange pattern where trees at the center remained standing but stripped of branches like bare poles. The evidence suggested an explosion in the air rather than on the ground, a mid-air detonation of cosmic energy that released force comparable to a large nuclear weapon decades before nuclear weapons existed. Local stories added to the mystery, with some villagers believing a sky god had unleashed punishment, while others whispered about alien technology or secret experiments, though no proof supported such ideas. Scientists gradually built a theory that a meteoroid or comet fragment, perhaps 50 to 60 meters wide, had entered Earth's atmosphere at incredible speed and exploded before impact due to pressure and heat, creating what is now called an airburst. But questions remained because typical meteorites leave debris and Tunguska left surprisingly little. Some researchers suggested it may have been an icy comet that vaporized almost completely, while others debated unusual compositions or fragmentation angles. Meanwhile, the forest itself told a silent story, with new growth eventually rising among the fallen trunks, animals returning, and nature slowly healing the scar. Still, for decades, the Tunguska event lingered as a scientific puzzle and a reminder of how vulnerable Earth is to cosmic events beyond human control. During the Cold War era, when nuclear testing began, some scientists revisited Tunguska data and realized the energy estimates matched multi-megaton explosions, reinforcing how extraordinary the 1908 blast had been. Had it occurred over a major city like London or New York, the devastation would have been unimaginable, potentially leveling entire urban areas in seconds, which led to deeper global interest in tracking near-Earth objects. Modern simulations suggest the explosion released energy hundreds of times greater than the Hiroshima bomb, flattening forests simply through pressure and heat without leaving a crater. A cosmic near miss that could have changed history if its timing or location were slightly different. Even today, expeditions continue to study soil, peat layers, and microscopic particles, searching for chemical signatures that might fully explain the object's origin. Yet part of Tunguska's power lies in its mystery, a real event witnessed by real people, recorded by real instruments, but still not completely solved more than a century later. It serves as a reminder that history is not only shaped by kings, wars, or revolutions, but sometimes by random moments from the universe itself, moments that arrive without warning and leave humanity humbled. On that June morning in 1908, no one in Siberia knew they were witnessing the largest impact event in recorded history, and no headline screamed the news. But the earth remembered, the trees remembered, and the sky, for a few seconds, reminded humanity how small it truly is in a vast and unpredictable cosmos.